Have you ever been scrolling endlessly through a really long article, maybe a complex report,
Yeah.
just searching for that one crucial paragraph, you read last week?
Oh, absolutely. Or trying to grab a specific stock quote
Yeah.
from a busy financial page.
Exactly. Without navigating through all the ads and banners every single time. It's frustrating, right?
Totally.
We've all wished for some kind of magic button, that could bookmark not just the whole webpage, but that exact spot we cared about, so we could just jump straight back. Well, today on the deep dive, we're plunging into the fascinating world of a patent that essentially made that wish a reality. It's US 6219679B1, and the official title is Enhanced User Interactive Information Content Bookmarking.
Quite a mouthful.
It is. And our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack this foundational patent. And crucially, we want to spotlight the top companies that have built upon its insights. These are the giants who, maybe without us even realizing it, have shaped how we interact with information online every day. You might actually be surprised by who is on this list and just how interconnected their innovations are to this one document.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is that this patent, originally filed by Nortel Networks Ltd., it might initially seem like a pretty niche technical detail,
Right.
but its cited by section, that tells an incredibly powerful story of influence. It's essentially a digital breadcrumb trail, showing us every other patent that built directly on this core idea.
Okay.
And it's also important to note, this patent is now expired lifetime. So its core concepts are firmly in the public domain.
Free for anyone to use, basically.
Exactly. But its influence just keeps rippling through the digital world. It serves as a fundamental building block for so many of the intuitive tools you probably use daily, even if you don't, consciously recognize it.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Before this patent came along, what was the real problem it aimed to solve? Because honestly, it feels like such a basic feature now, doesn't it? Why was this considered so groundbreaking back then?
That's a great question because it does seem obvious today. But before this, conventional bookmarks were incredibly basic, like really basic.
Basic.
They just stored a URL. That's it, the address of the web page.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to revisit a specific section, maybe that paragraph in a long article or that stock quote box you mentioned,
Yeah.
you had to manually scroll, maybe resize the window, close pop-ups every single time. It was just incredibly inefficient.
I remember that, hunting around the page.
Exactly. And the patent itself actually explicitly calls this out. It says, and I'm quoting loosely here, that scroll positions and window sizes are stored only in temporary memory and then erased when you close the window.
So it just forgot everything.
Right, which meant repetitive, tedious actions for the user. And it was a real source of frustration for anyone trying to, manage their digital information effectively.
That frustration is so relatable. Finding a specific comment on a forum with hundreds of pages or getting back to that one line in a user manual, But if it was just scroll position, couldn't a browser just remember that anyway? What made the patent's approach so innovative?
That's precisely where the enhanced part really comes in. The core invention was actually quite elegant. Instead of just storing the URL,
Okay.
an enhanced bookmark would also store a locator element right alongside it. And this element uniquely identifies a subset of the page, not just the whole thing.
A subset, like a specific chunk of it.
Exactly. Imagine you could give your browser like a set of precise GPS coordinates for exactly where you wanted to land on that page.
Okay, I get that.
That's essentially what this patent allowed. It could record the exact X and Y pixel coordinates for the top left corner of your desired view, or even a second pair of coordinates to define a specific rectangular box of content.
Wow, okay, so very specific.
Very specific. And it could also save your window dimensions, or even the exact scroll bar positions. So it could recall the precise state of your display when you save the bookmark.
So it wasn't just remembering a general spot. It was like recreating the entire view as if you'd never left. That's a huge difference.
It is. And brilliantly, it also introduced the idea of an item identifier. This is basically a searchable text string that could act as an anchor point. The patent describes it as something like a string of text that appears at the beginning of a portion of the display.
Like finding a specific heading or sentence.
Sort of, yeah. The key thing was that this text identifier had to be relatively static to make sure it remained accurate over time, even if other content around it may be shifted a bit.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me, especially for anyone who loves curating information. The patent also talked about something called the super bookmark. What was that all about?
Ugh. the super bookmark. That was a powerful, almost visionary feature for its time. Think of it like your own personal digital scrapbook, long before we had apps like Pinterest or Pocket.
Really? How did it work?
You could create a collection of multiple enhanced bookmarks, potentially from different pages or even different spots on the same page, and then display them all together, like a collage of content. The patent mentions things like tiles or clippings.
Tiles or clippings, like pulling out just the important bits.
Precisely. So you weren't just bookmarking individual spots. You were actively curating and assembling information from various sources into a single personalized dashboard.
Wow, okay. So you could literally pull out, say, a key paragraph from a financial report, a specific recipe step from a cooking blog, and maybe a crucial image from a design site, and then just arrange them all in one super park page.
That's the idea.
It was about creating your information view, not just passively consuming what the website gave you. That sounds incredibly useful, even by today's standards.
It truly was ahead of its time. And the real impact was immediate and profound for the user. When you accessed an enhanced bookmark, only the specific bit you identified would be displayed, or the page would pop up at exactly the right scroll position and window size.
Saving you all that scrolling and searching.
Exactly, saving significant time and effort. And a crucial detail here, all of this innovation was designed to reside completely within the subscriber's local equipment software.
Meaning it worked on your own computer?
Right. It worked locally without needing server-side changes to every single website out there, which was a huge factor in enabling its potential for widespread adoption.
That local equipment aspect is fascinating. It meant websites didn't need to change, which is great, but wouldn't that also mean your bookmarks couldn't easily sync across devices or maybe shared easily with others? It sounds like a bit of a trade-off between, independence and portability. How did later innovations deal with that?
You've hit on a really key point there. The initial focus was definitely on individual user efficiency on their own machine. Later innovations, often drawing directly from this patent's foundational ideas, certainly built upon that. They incorporated server-side components and cloud syncing to enable that cross-device access and sharing we expect now.
Oh, okay.
But the core principle of how to precisely locate and store that specific piece of content, that remained rooted in this original concept. It really did lay the groundwork.
Okay, now let's get to the real-world impact. This patent, as you said, is cited by numerous other inventions, which really shows its foundational importance.
It does.
We've dug into those cited by sections across the sources to see which companies have most frequently built upon its principles. And we're talking about the veritable giants of tech here, the companies whose products we use every single day. We wanted to see how this seemingly simple idea ended up, everywhere.
That's right. And when we look at influence like this, we're focusing specifically on the number of unique patent publications that directly cite US 6219679B1. That gives us a pretty clear indicator of which organizations have most directly leveraged and expanded upon these core ideas in their own innovations.
Right, the direct lineage. So, kicking us off at number 1 with a truly whopping 40 unique patents drawing directly from this invention is LG Electronics, Inc. What did they do with this enhanced bookmarking concept? It's not the first company I'd think of for web bookmarking.
Well, LG really took the core idea beyond just static web pages and applied it heavily to dynamic media. Their focus seems to be primarily on methods and apparatus for managing bookmark information for content stored in a network media server.
Okay, so media content like videos.
Exactly. Imagine hitting pause on a streaming video, maybe marking that exact 30-second segment of a recipe tutorial, or perhaps the precise moment a goal was scored in a sports highlight.
And jumping right back to it later.
Precisely. That's LG, leveraging this patent's locator elements to revolutionize how we interact with media. It ensures you don't have to scrub endlessly through a long video just to find that one crucial piece of information again.
That's a perfect example of taking the underlying principle and applying it in a completely new domain. Okay, shifting gears now to another industry giant. With 27 unique publications citing this patent, we have International Business Machines Corporation, IBM. How did Big Blue apply these ideas? They're more enterprise-focused, right?
Right. And IBM's citations truly speak to the versatility of the patent's principles, especially in complex enterprise environments. Their work spans areas like methods and systems for maintaining scroll position in web user interfaces, which is a direct callback to the original patent's problem statement, actually.
So remembering where you were in complex business software.
Exactly. Think about managing vast amounts of data in a business dashboard or a long report. These systems absolutely need to remember exactly where a user left off, or precisely what data subset they were viewing. IBM also used it for things like advanced downloading of URLs for web navigation, and interestingly, generating user-defined pages with content representations.
Which sounds a lot like that super bookmark idea again.
It does, essentially creating tailored views of information for professional users, much like the super bookmark concept, but perhaps applied on a larger enterprise scale.
Makes sense. And who could forget this titan? Coming in with 16 unique publications citing the patent is Microsoft Corporation. Now, given their deep involvement in operating systems and browsers, this feels like a very natural fit.
Absolutely. Microsoft's innovations here directly touch on web page display systems, methods for saving user-specified views of internet web page displays, and interactive document information storage and delivery.
Can you give an example?
Sure, think of features like Reader View in browsers that strip away all the clutter and just show you the article text. Or maybe they're document clipping tools, like in OneNote, that let you save specific sections of web pages directly into your notes.
Ah, yeah. I use
These
those.
are direct descendants of this patent's ideas, empowering users to precisely save and revisit custom views of web content, making information much more digestible and, frankly, less overwhelming.
Definitely. Then we have Apple Inc. with 8 unique patent publications. Apple is, of course, known for intuitive user experiences, so how did they integrate this kind of thinking?
Apple's work often focuses on, seamlessly integrating technology into our daily lives, and this patent clearly informs some of their approach. Their citations include inventions related to selecting and manipulating web content, creating text-editable web pages, and presenting and managing clipped content.
Selecting and clipping, like highlighting text.
Yes. Consider how easily you can highlight text on a web page in Safari, or maybe clip a specific section of an article directly into the Notes app. This aligns perfectly with their ecosystem, where users are empowered to easily create, consume, and share specific pieces of digital information, often jumping directly to the relevant part.
So if I highlight a passage in a web page on my iPhone and share that link and someone else opens it, does it sometimes jump right to that highlight? Is that the kind of innovation we're talking about?
Precisely that. That ability to share not just a generic link, but a link that takes the recipient to the exact context you wanted to share, that's a direct evolution of the enhanced bookmarks locator elements. It makes communication and information sharing incredibly efficient.
Okay, moving across the globe now to a powerhouse, especially prominent in the East. Tencent Technology Shenzhen Company Limited comes in with 5 unique publications. How did the patent's ideas spread and adapt in such a vast and different digital landscape?
Tencent's innovations that cite this patent include things like methods and systems for sending web page content with browser, bookmark uniform resource locators, and bookmark preservation. This really demonstrates how these core ideas transcended geographical boundaries and adapted. They became part of the underpinning for crucial functionality in one of the world's largest internet companies.
Some maybe features in WeChat or their news apps?
Could be. Think about how many social platforms allow you to share a specific snippet of an article, not just the whole thing, or how news apps might remember the last paragraph you read in a long piece. That kind of precise content identification and recall is key, and it traces back here.
Right. Next, the e-commerce and cloud computing giant, Amazon Technologies, Inc., has 4 unique publications citing this. This immediately makes me think of e-readers, like the Kindle.
You're absolutely spot on. Their related work is focused on things like user devices with access behavior tracking and passive marking or favorite passage identifying functionality, and also remotely stored bookmarks embedded as web page content.
So Kindle highlights and last page read.
Exactly. Think of your Kindle, or maybe listening on Audible. That exact spot you left off reading, or that highlight you made in an ebook that's a direct descendant of this patent's thinking. Remembering precisely where you were and what you found important. It's all about creating that seamless, personalized reading and listening experience.
Makes perfect sense. Another leader in mobile devices, Samsung Electronics Co., Ltd., also has 4 unique publications drawing from this patent. How does it apply for them?
Yes, the citations include methods for displaying websites using previous display information on mobile terminals, and also apparatus and bezelets for performing capture in portable terminals.
Capture, like screen capture.
Potentially specific screen region capture, yes. This really showcases the patent's direct relevance in our mobile-first world, ensuring a consistent and efficient browsing experience even on smaller screens. When you reopen a browser tab on your Samsung phone and it's right where you left off, or when you capture just a specific part of your screen for sharing,
Hmm.
you're likely experiencing the fruits of this foundational work, adapted for mobile.
And then we have Issue Inc., which is a platform dedicated to digital publications, also with 4 unique publications. How does this fit in?
Their cited inventions are directly related to shareable clips for digital publications and systems and methods for generating social assets from electronic publications. This is a remarkably direct application of that enhanced bookmark or even the super bookmark concept.
Shareable clips, like pulling a quote out of a magazine.
Exactly. Issue allows users to easily select and share specific sections or clips of digital magazines, catalogs, brochures, etc., hosted on their platform. It turns these isolated bits of information into easily shareable social assets that can be embedded or posted elsewhere. It's essentially the super bookmark idea, but designed specifically for sharing content socially.
Very cool application. Finally, rounding out our list, we have a really fascinating tie for the 9th position. Each of these companies has 3 unique publications citing the original patent, and it really underscores the broad and diverse reach of this idea.
It really does.
In this group, we have Savnor Technologies, Walmart Apollo, LLC, Enemy Tree, LLC, Xerox Corporation, and Freedom Scientific, Inc. What stands out to you in this diverse group?
Well, what's truly interesting here is the sheer diversity, as you say. It shows how universal the need for precise content navigation and identification really is. Take Walmart Apollo, LLC, for instance. One of their citing patents relates to methods and apparatus for automatically providing digital advertisements.
Ads. How does bookmarking relate to ads?
Well, perhaps by tailoring ads to specific parts of a page you're viewing. You might be browsing a product page, maybe looking closely at the reviews section, and a related ad appears right next to the specific review you're reading. It could be perfectly targeted because the system knows what specific content subset you're focused on, based on principles similar to the locator elements.
Oh, okay, subtle but powerful.
Or consider Freedom Scientific, Inc. They're a leader in accessibility technology. Their document place marker invention directly applies these principles to help users navigate complex digital documents by precisely jumping between key sections.
That sounds incredibly important for accessibility.
It's a truly impactful application for people who rely on screen readers or other assistive technologies. And then you have giants like Xerox Corporation, using similar concepts for advanced document management, ensuring specific sections of scanned or digital documents could be retrieved with precision. This diverse group really underscores how valuable the concept of focused content navigation has become across vastly different industries, from retail to accessibility to traditional enterprise document handling.
It absolutely is. So after this really deep dive, what does this all mean for, for you, the everyday internet user listening right now?
It means that the seemingly simple act of bookmarking a precise spot on a web page, or maybe even conceptually creating a collage of relevant sections like that super bookmark idea proposed, it has deep and significant roots. This deep dive clearly shows how just one single patent, US 6219679B1, provided a fundamental building block. A building block that countless companies, from LG and Apple crafting those sleek user interfaces to IBM handling complex enterprise systems, even to Walmart enhancing digital retail. They've all used it to create more intuitive, more efficient, and more personalized digital interactions for all of us.
So it helped cut through the noise.
Exactly. It truly empowered users to cut through that growing information overload and get directly to what matters most to them.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, that even the smallest, most technical-sounding innovations, like this patent, can have just a monumental ripple effect across the entire tech industry, shaping the digital tools we use every single day, often without us ever realizing it. It feels like it transformed how we consume information, from passive reading to something more active, more curated. And here's a provocative thought for you to maybe mull over. This patent we mentioned is expired lifetime. So if an invention like enhanced bookmarking can have such a profound and lasting impact after its patent expires, making its core ideas freely available for anyone to build on, what other invisible innovations are still shaping your digital world right now that maybe you've never heard of?
That's a great question.
And what new possibilities are really unlocked for future innovation when foundational technologies like these become part of the public domain? What's the next enhanced bookmarking waiting to be built upon?